You know that feeling, right? Someone says just the right thing and boom, you feel that flash of heat, that split second where you just lose it. That's provocation. And today, we're going to get right into the psychology behind it so you can learn how to master it. I mean, come on, of course you have. We all have. You walk away just replaying the conversation in your head, thinking, why did I let them get to me like that? That feeling of regret? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. Understanding that it happens to everyone is the very first step. So, to kick things off, we've got to understand the trap itself. What even is provocation, and why is it so darn effective at making us lose our cool? Okay, now the most important word in this entire definition is intended. This is key. Provocation isn't usually an accident. It's a calculated move. It's someone deliberately trying to push your buttons to get a reaction and knock you off balance. A lot of us think that getting provoked is a personal failing, right? Like it's some kind of weakness. But actually, from a psychological standpoint, it's an ancient defense reflex. It's literally hardwired into our DNA to respond to threats. The only problem is, in our modern world, that old wiring can seriously backfire. And this brings us to what might be the single most important idea in this whole explainer. The problem isn't actually the person provoking you. It's not even the words they're saying. The real action, the real drama, is all happening inside your own head. Think about it like this. On one side, you have the words someone says. That's just the external trigger. But on the other side, you have your mind's interpretation of those words. And that interpretation is what really causes the big emotional reaction. The words are just the spark. Your mind is the one that provides all the fuel. Yeah, your brain is not some neutral observer just taking notes. The second it hears something that could be a social threat or an attack on who you are, it doesn't pause and think logically. No way. It jumps straight into a super fast, automatic, defensive mode. It immediately labels the situation, threat detected. This is a personal attack. So what happens when our brain sounds that internal alarm bell? Well, this is where the emotional hijacking begins. And there's one emotion in particular that loves to jump into the driver's seat. Yep, the main culprit here is anger. Research from guys like social psychologist Leonard Berkowitz has shown that anger is the key emotion. It's the bridge that takes us from feeling provoked to actually acting out aggressively. And remember that anger isn't coming from the words themselves, it's coming from your brain's perception of those words as a threat. So here's how that chain reaction plays out, and it happens in a flash. Step 1, someone says something provocative. Step 2, your mind instantly sees it as a personal attack. Step 3, that triggers a surge of anger. Now here's the critical part. Step 4, that anger actively weakens your self-control. It just drains the tank, which leads directly to Step 5, the impulsive and usually regrettable reaction. And that brings us to this classic line. We've all said it or heard it, right? I don't normally act this way. This is the telltale sign that your self-control was hijacked. The person who reacted wasn't the normal you. It was the you operating on an empty tank of self-regulation, all thanks to that surge of anger. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. We get the trap. We get the emotional hijacking. Now for the most important question. How do we get out of it? How do we start reclaiming control? So here's the thing, and it's a big one. You are never, ever going to stop other people from trying to provoke you. That's totally outside your control. The real power, the real game changer, is focusing on what you can control. Learning to recognize that automatic internal alarm bell the moment it starts to ring. You know, people who handle this stuff well aren't superhuman. They've just developed their emotional regulation skills. They don't stop the initial feeling, but they create a little bit of space, a buffer, between that feeling and their reaction. They notice what their mind is doing automatically, and that little bit of awareness is everything. It gives them just enough time to choose a conscious response instead of a knee-jerk one. And this all brings us to the final, and I think the most powerful takeaway from this whole deep dive into the psychology of provocation. I want you to really let this sink in. The provocative words themselves have zero power over you. None. The only thing that truly weakens you in that moment is giving up your own self-control. Real strength isn't about winning the fight. It's about staying in command of yourself. Choosing not to engage isn't a sign of weakness. It's a total power move. It's you declaring, I see the game you're playing, and I refuse to play. It shows you're in control not just of what you do, but of your own mind. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time you feel that flash of anger, that urge to lash out, ask yourself, where is my power right now? Is it going to be in my reaction, or is it going to be in the pause? The choice is yours. Thanks for tuning in.